What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you haven't been here, welcome. Today we're going to be putting together some suspension components for our Nissan 350Z. In the previous videos we showed you where we at with the car, what kind of parts we got so far, and today we got all these bushings, all the new control arms, and we kind of just want to put it all together so we can get that car up and rolling. I got Joey here with me. He's going to be helping me out. Joey said what's up with the channel. So we purchased a full energy suspension kit, and if you guys haven't seen it, I'll put the link down below for you guys to check out the previous video of what kind of parts we got in so far. And so basically full energy suspension kit, bushing kit for every point on the car, and then we got some new wheel bearings that we're going to be pressing in, and also some subframe and the differential bushings. And these guys are solid bushings. We went with the solid bushings for that part. But currently, right now, they are in the freezer, so you kind of just want to cool them down. So the metal will shrink and it should slide very nice without struggling. But the only thing I wanted to bring up before we get started right now is whenever we did order an energy suspension kit, it came basically in a big box and everything was apart. But if you guys do get that, don't freak out. There is a little paper in there with instructions. And each bushing comes with a stamp on it, which is basically the part number, and it tells you where exactly it goes. So it makes it a lot easier to organize your bushings, because there's so many of them, and it kind of at first when we opened the box, we didn't know what went where, but that's kind of a good thing to have. Anyway, right now we're going to get started, and they do include a whole bunch of grease, and make sure you guys use it, because if you don't, it will be squeaking later, maybe not in the week, not in the month, but later down the road it will be squeaking and it's going to be super annoying. So we're going to get these all lubed up, and we're going to probably utilize our press right behind me and get them all pressed in so we can assemble the subframe and get it up in the air. I mean, get it up in the car and put the car on the ground. Let's get started. Alright guys, we're back. Basically everything is pressed in, wheel bearings are in, the ball joints are in, front, rear, most of the bushings are in. They weren't that bad. I mean, you do have to use a press to get them all, you know, squashed together, I guess. But the only thing I can say is whenever you do these polyurethane bushings, make sure you put in, you know, both rubber pieces in and then press in your center section, because that's basically the easiest way. If you do, let's just say if you do one side and then press your center and then try to push this in, the other rubber side pushes out. So just keep that in mind. Put both rubbers in and then put your center in. So basically all of these are the same, and the only one bushing that was different in the whole set was the front lower control arm inner bushing. This one came in, and basically it goes inside each other whenever you press them in, and it has these grooves, as you can see right there. So these poke out and these are recessed inside of here. So when you press them in, they kind of just clip into each other, and we were having a very hard time getting these in. So basically it's very, as you see the gap that is right over here. And it's impossible, as much as we tried pressing it together, screwing it, putting the all thread in and trying to tighten it down, it still gives you that gap. It just kind of comes right back as soon as you loosen it. So I don't know if we have to mess around and like modify, maybe shave them down a little bit on the inside so it can go farther, or what, or maybe just pick up a different bushing. But this was a pain, and we still haven't came up with a solution how we're going to run this, because this is not going to work. Other than that, everything else went pretty smooth. We're happy with the results. And now we're going to move on to our subframe. So we're going to go to the freezer, get our aluminum bushings out, and we'll see how easy or hard these will go in. So let's do that. We just got these out of the freezer. This is our ISR Performance subframe bushings. So nice and crispy, real cold. So I'm gonna, just to make it a little bit easier, we're gonna go and heat it up a little bit, just for a couple seconds with a torch, make this expand. So I'm gonna go ahead and try putting that in. Maybe a soft face hammer. Give it a shot.
It's gonna flush out with the bottom if it hasn't already.
Yeah, it's close.
Alright guys, this one's actually was a little difficult. I don't know if they weren't cold enough or what, or maybe we should heat it up a little bit more, because you saw us struggling, beating it with a hammer a little bit, but we end up just putting it in the vise and squeezing it all the way. So we'll do number 2. Let me heat that up a little more maybe. Give that a shot. So maybe this is going to feel a little better.
Oh yeah.
Alright, just heat it up a little bit more, guys, if you're struggling. That one went way easier. So we're going to go ahead and do the front ones. Alright guys, we actually struggled with this one. You saw it. This one was very tight. Even after sitting in the freezer all day and heating this up, it was still pretty tight going in. You saw us making the little hole thread and trying to squeezing it down, and that did not work. We're going to put our last one in the press. That one in like butter, so we're just going to do the same thing for this last one. Alright guys, we finally got our last one on the subframe. That went in like butter on the press. But on this guy, so the differentials are last thing basically. We have GKtech solid bushings, and hopefully these will slip in better than the differential ones. So, and there's 2 different sizes that come in as a skinny. There's a skinny part and a thick part, as you see right here. So you want your thin one to be up against the frame on the car. So make sure you put them on top of your differential once you. So these were also in the freezer, same exact amount of time as the other ones. But I think maybe the board was a little scored on that one. That's why it didn't go in as planned. This one actually fell out. It's Probably because it's so cold. It still needs time to expand and to be in there nice and tight. So here you go, guys. We have one more, but we still haven't got the old bushing out. So this is one that will go in your subframe, and we'll basically just do that one once we get ready to put the car back together. And that one will be in the next video. So the next video is going to be getting all this assembled and putting the subframe up with the suspension. So we have coilovers coming. They should be here in the next few days. And then we're going to start reassembling the suspension and hopefully putting the car on the ground. But we'll take care of this one in the next video. But for now, guys, this is it. All our suspension's basically ready to go. Everything worked out except the two that I told you earlier on the front lower. We're gonna have to figure something out and mess around with this one a little bit, because we definitely can't have this big gap. That's just not right. I don't know if we're gonna buy a new one or what, but we'll figure that one out a different day. So thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Ready? Stop touching it. Just like stand and look at the camera like you professional.
Oh, perfect. Here, come back.
Big fucking goon.
Today we're gonna start reassembling all our
Suspenders.
lube your barrel for your bolt. And slide it right in. This one, get a soft face hammer and get that thing on.
What's nice is it'll slide right in. It's moving, just real slow.
This is where you put a commercial in. Used car salesman.